All right, we're back for a little bit of an update. We've got 5 games to go through. Won't be too long in this one. The voice is still on the struggle street. Up here in Magic Ground, having a good time. And, yeah, better give you something to listen to on the way home tomorrow or today or whenever you do head home. If you are watching from home, hopefully this finds you well on Sunday. And we've got the McInnes man. This is a very similar situation I found to Max King the other week with just a really, really high attacking stats game with the try. Good tackle break numbers for McInnes there with 8, and we saw that with King as well. To then follow it up with a 50, which is probably what we'll see. Well, a 40 odd, which is probably what we'll see with McInnes next week. But he's one of those guys we do need to have a look at for round 12, and yeah, you can make your decisions around him, AFB, all these types of guys. But with AFB going low, he could be of more interest if you're waiting until round 11 or 12 when we do lose Yo and Cleary and these types of players there. Junior Paulo is 70, Adokar 68. Some really nice scores. Nico Hines 59 in the end. The lack of kick meters is it's hurting. It's definitely hurting, but thank goodness that since I've bought him it's 56, 60 and then 59, so he's actually outdone where he's been priced at, which is great over that time. And 4 goals, 3 tries. The tackle numbers have been up, which is great. Still a decent amount of misses, unfortunately. And those little, the little push-off ones. There was one he did dive at the legs, kind of, one of those dirty ones. But overall, he's been involved in the attack, which is great. The short ball's awesome. He got his nicker a try assist, that the old trusty, and a beautiful one to KL Hero on the other side. So, speaking of that, man, here's a gun. 50 for Hero. Just, one negative in a penalty. Just a great effort for him. And should continue to be that way. So, we'll be one of those guns that we could have in our teams. And we saw a lot over this weekend with Lucas. We're going to see Kravaz today. We've got Garrick. There's lots of those guys in centre that can do an awesome job. And guys like Fermor as well that we'll see this afternoon. But with Hines, he is definitely an option for half. The kick meters are a worry. Do you just go Fogarty? Potentially for Nico. Riley Smith there, 54 for him. Did bring him in and he made a heap of tackles. So still missing 6 there this week. But when you're making 57, you're going to get a turnover tackle most likely there. And did have an offload as well with the tackle break. So happy to have brought Riley Smith in. Not happy to have sold Rob Toyer. And pretty funny. There was in the new Facebook group, guys, go jump in the description, check that one out there. The Discord is gone, new open Facebook group is there, along with the private group information if you want to pay the cash to join that and get the one-on-one advice and everything like that from myself and everyone else there. But it was a nice fun photo, a screen clip of me talking about Rob Toyer. I was like, Savala's in there, he's not getting much ball. Toyer's averaging like 75 metres in the last 3 games. He's not getting footy. He probably won't burn you, was the call. So, pretty funny. Thanks for clipping that up. I had a laugh, and not much else you can do, is there? So, congrats to everyone who still owns Toyer. If he's 98, I did trade him to Riley Smith. So, at least my trade-in did pretty well. I didn't play him. Similar to Dylan Egan last night. What a game. But yeah, good to have these players that are at least doing well and you're not having to look to sell them is the big win with things like that. So it's Riley Smith, 54. Brown Moses, 53 and 50. Pretty solid. Brayley of the Blake variety, 50 for him. And yeah, pretty solid. Nicara, still lots of missed tackles. Not crushing it, but a really lovely try there. So keep an eye on him. He's just probably going to hang in this high 500s for sure. Geimer in there played 58 minutes, so of course on the right edge he outdid Katonga, which is just lovely. I ended up just playing Katonga, looped him, and just decided to hold Stafford in the end. I was wanting to bring in Garrick, and I was like, that game last night with the Knights and Lucas, I was like, I just want Lucas, man. I love watching him play. He's the easiest watch ever in the centres, so Lucas will come into my side, I think, next week. And God, we've got the sad news of Mamzelis with a dislocated elbow. gross. And apparently, still post-game, they hadn't got it back in. So that's going to be tough. That's going to be a little while out for him, unfortunately. The Pistol Pete, the legend. And a bad score for him, too. What else we got? Trindle, 38. Adam Blake, so 37 for him and 43. Low minutes. After that big minute game last week, he must still be carrying a little bit with the groin. And just keep an eye out on him over the next few weeks. If you own, just keep holding. You got the good score last week into the tough one here, but it's a position where you can, if you don't own, you can probably buy him near Origin. Hopgood 34 in 36 minutes. It's just ridiculous. He's still got 2 offloads, still got a line break assist. He's putting in work, but and then he had to play hooker for like 5 minutes there. Pretty gross overall. How he's getting 30 minutes is beyond me when you've got, Guymer, Katonga, these kind of guys that are rookies or, fresh to the game. Hopgood is close to their best player and just doesn't get played. And we'll say it every week, to be fair. So it's the shocker. But yeah, Katonga 35. It's not ideal. Thankfully, he didn't miss a tackle. And, a few negatives there. A little bit of running, no offload. So absolutely just been put away since we decided to buy him and trade him in. So, guys like him, guys like Yongi, they will need to show us something if we want to keep them for round 12. But it does seem like the cheapies have come in clutch this week, or the cheapie to mid-range, Dylan Egans, the Toyas. These kind of guys have done a really good job. Yongi, 30, as I said, solid, got the line break in there, got 200 run meters. All that was good, but 3 missed tackles, 2 errors. Could be better. He won't play, teams like the Sharks every week, but they're also not an incredible team. So, yeah, how often is he going to be getting 40 plus, 50 plus? That's probably the question we need to ask, and I don't think it's a lot. All right, let's go to that second game. Robbie Toya, we spoke about him. Tedesco, if you got both of them, absolutely flying this week. You'll make a lot of ranks, and shout out to you guys. He had a cracking week. 270 metres for Teddy with 10 tackle breaks. He was absolutely terrific. To not score a try is criminal, how that one worked out. But Toya, every time he got the ball, it was dominant. Finned have 8 tackle breaks, 4 offloads, 187 run meters, 2 line breaks, try assist. Had absolutely everything, and shout out to him. We've been waiting for it all year. A really good game like we saw in round 1. Didn't happen, but here it is now. Teddy, definitely someone on my radar come round 11. He will be pretty expensive, up at about the 700k now, which will be tough. But yeah, is what it is with some of these guys. You're buying him somewhere near where he's going to average, that 53. Because right now he's with that price point, he's close to that 50 mark, so he'll go back up to about that 53. Kind of in line with how he's going, with a lower break even after the back-to-back really good weeks. One of the final team guns if he doesn't make Origin. Isaiah Katoa, 67 for him, running the footy, kicking, tackles, just the same situation we've seen all year, averaging 55 now, and is also one of those guys that you can have a look at for your round 12 half. Radley Tubble, 65. Someone asked about Radley. I was like, he'll have his runs, he'll be hit and miss. I don't know. I said, ask Mitch, actually, how he felt having Radley last year. 65 here, and then who knows what's going to happen next week. So if you bought him, good stuff. If you didn't, maybe you don't chase. But I know he's not someone that I look at on a year-to-year basis just because he's in and out with head knocks and all that kind of stuff. Big Finn, 59 for him, along with Lem, 53. So 2 really good scores from those guys. Just meant there was plenty of work down their edges. And Farnworth and Hammer, 56 and 55. So with Farnworth there, 102 run meters, so not a heap, and got that lovely try at the end to get his score going. So, just a decent one for him. A couple offloads, and not much else to say. He basically scored what he's priced at, so he's just going to stick, I think, somewhere around this mark for the entirety of the season, and will be a good guy to have in centre if you do. Do you chase him? Do you go for Lucas? I think personally Lucas, but I just love watching Dylan play, hey. Naf White, the player of the week that I said to clearly hold. I just think he's such an important mid for round 12, and he had a errorless game, a negativeless game in this one for 53. It was awesome. More base stats in this game, which is great, and yeah, like 26 tackles, 170 metres. It's great. Siwa Wong got his few offloads in this one, 51, 75 minutes, so still getting that little early mark, similar with Radley, 69 for him. And I think Wong now can easily be held, so I'm very happy that both him and Savala are the two that I've got at this point. Naf White I'd probably prefer because I think mid's harder than Wong. But yeah, really solid. Savala 50, got the down date, but a really good score from him. Did kick goals in the end with Sandon out. He's got 6 goals over the last 2 weeks with Sandon's sim bin and then the head knock as well. So yeah, good scores from them. Their holds through to round 12, I think, at this point, especially if you get through next week with them. You may have sort of 3 or 4 Roosters, so you can decide on that one. If you've got Toya, he's a clear hold. People are going to buy him in round 11. People may buy him as a looper next week if things go awry. Nwangani Tawaze, 2 tries, 45. That's the only problem with him on the wing is that you need the attack, and he's getting it. But at centre, he'd get 10 extra tackles, he'd get a couple offloads, and score in a different way to needing those tries. So either way, I think it's fine. It probably helps him being on the wing for Supercoach, less for fantasy, but he's been good in both games. Watson got moved out to 6 when Sandon went down, so he played pretty much the whole game there. Docker Clay came out and played the rest at 9, so that hurt his score, but then you have the opportunity to get those tries on the back end. So Watson's 41. I think now is the correct time to sell. It was either this week or this round 10 coming up, and yeah, now's the time with Watson there. Guys, I'll do a bit of a larger breakdown of players and stuff when we come into next week once I'm back home. But Crichton 29, I didn't even realise that one. That is gross. Yeah, I'm hoping you sold this week because a few people asked and it was like, yeah, look, him and Watson, it's a decent time to sell after the low one with the high break even. You could hold or you could sell, and I hope you did the latter. That's it. Billy Smith 27, of course, -2 for Sandon. He's actually not the worst hold. I think, given he's on the bye this week anyway, it makes it a little bit easier to swallow that -2. And I'm hoping if you played him for the -2 this week, you played him for the 75 last week. Okay, game 3, Saturday game. So Knights got the win over the Bunnies. It just didn't look great from the start. Big hole through the middle. I think they made a break down the sideline as well. Very early, got the try for Fletcher, and Ponga looked a lot better. So that was good. It was an emotional roller coaster for me. We were cheering Fletcher Sharp early. And then after that first run, I think that Greg made, he was clutching at his ribs or whatever it was. And we were like at halftime, please go get that injection and come out and look better. And thank God, I think the first 3 runs he ran harder and he didn't get up clutching. And thankfully he got some good points at the end there. 10 tackle breaks, 6 kick defusals in the end. Take that for Greg there. And needed that, I think, after buying him last week, not getting that try. He got close to a try at the start of this game, and was on sort of 5 for 27 minutes before he picked up a couple of decent runs there in the back end of the half, and then had a better second half. So this is a game you want to play. As you can see there, I'm got the full screen up and still aren't all the way through all the 50 players. So we've got almost a full team's worth of 50 plus. So you wanted a lot of players. You wanted a lot of Knights players. So if you had Lucas, you had Fletcher, you had Ponga, you had Marzu or KPP, even Gagai was back in business. This was the game you wanted. Surprisingly enough, it was pissing down rain for a lot of it. So yeah, well done to owners there. Fletcher Sharp, 3 line breaks, 3 tries, 31 tackles again. So very, very impressive effort. He did have a few errors, trying to do some funky stuff or just some easy stuff. It was rocks and diamonds game at times for Fletcher, but a cracking score for him. And a good buy. Bradman Best, we know he's going to be up and down, and this was the up game. And still averaging 50 for the year, so good effort there. Jack Cogger, 69 in this one. Lucas, 64, and I've got him, as a clear buy. 57 in pure base before just the 3 missed tackles. Got the footwork to come back and send Cogger over as well. So he's got that in his game for a lovely try assist there. 64 for him. And I think is the buy of the week in centre next week. Unless Fermor comes out and gets another ton. today. Surely not against the Doggies. Colo 63. Leo Thompson just doing great work again. Without the sin bin last week, he would have been in a good spot. He'll continue going, it looks like, at this point. Surprisingly enough, playing big minutes and doing a good job. KPP, Kaipi's ball, 60 for him. Got that line break on the wing, so that was fun for him. And yeah, good tackle numbers, good running, good run there as well. All in a good spot for Kai. I think going forward to continue averaging in the 50s. Like it just looks like he wants to offload. Not that he did in this game, but he got some luck with turnover tackles. But base stats are near 50. He's doing a great job on that front there, definitely. And Ponga, is great to see him back in some decent form. I thankfully was able to hold him in Supercoach for a good score there. 5 goals, 2 try assists. Ran the footy a bit better. Got kick defusals as well. So 3 tackle breaks and offload. Much better for Ponga. And if you held, great. If you didn't, hopefully you did trade him to like Fletcher Sharp or Drinkwater or something fun like that, who outscored him anyway in the end. I spoke about Greg, Duncan, Gagai. Yeah, he's getting cheaper. I don't know if he's the guy we target unless they start playing well, but much better for him. No errors, just the few missed tackles. It was good. Makaroka, 52 and 33. Impressive. Campbell Graham just doing good work there out in the wing in the end, hey? 47 for him. Elliott, a bit lower. Aitken, out in the centres, 43. Hubner. Really good game in the end for him, like 35 and 38. Thought he'd maybe play more the way it was going. Every time I looked at number 13 jersey, I was like, oh, Hubner tackle. It was Jai Arrow. Forget that, he's back on the bench there. Gray's 28, corked quad. Sounds like he probably won't play. And then Mamazelis to 25, 9 missed tackles. It's always the way, hey. Like last week, I had to pick someone to leave out of the 17, and it was Mamazelis last week, and he had the game of his life against Storm with things going his way. And then you play him straight up this week, and got Egan sitting on the bench and Toya, out of the side, and he lobs down at 25 with 9 missed tackles against a team that's not great. So yeah, that was tough viewing, and then just the injury right at the end too, poor fella. So he'll be a sell, sadly. And then Jaden Brayley went back down to 18 points there, and just the 30 minutes. All right, my Cowboys getting dusted by Metcalf and Harris Tavita. They both played incredibly well. And those boys are really improving. It's great to see Metcalf crushing and try saver, 2 turnover tackles as well. He's absolutely flew in this game, and all the praises go to him. He deserves it. They deserve that win off the back of them building a really nice lead and him showing his chops. They're a top 4 team, and they're sticking with it. It's crazy without Fish as well. Congrats to them. Harris Tavita, after a low one last week, back in the good books with a 70. Drinky 68, just in everything. And yeah, I didn't end up selling Gutho to Drinky in Supercoach. I was like, well, it's raining. Warriors have been pretty good, but he's just in form, in everything. Apparently, Clifford doesn't know how to kick the football anymore. They just went to Drinkwater for kick meters every time, and he's involved in everything. So shout out to him. He looks like putting on a try or scoring it, well, definitely putting on tries and getting tackle breaks and whatever else every play at the moment. So he's someone that you do need to target. Unfortunately, he's going to be very expensive for those like myself who aren't on when we look at him for round 13. So that's the tough one. Barnett's 59 was much better for him. 46 tackles there. Keep him in your thoughts if he doesn't make Origin. Aaron Clark, 58 in 69 minutes. So yeah, I can't see him dropping back further than 55 minutes or so when Fish is back. But this one was a wet game, and he just clearly put away the offload that we saw the last few weeks. So could have been a lot better. But for him to have no negatives apart from one error there was absolutely terrific. 58 for him as a buy. Getting him for Watson was awesome. Happy days there. If you did the same, I think a lot of people did, then you end up in a really good spot there, 58. Jeremiah and I, if you did buy this week at that cheap price, you got rewarded again with a try assist and a try. Murray Talangi did in there. Decent try for him. Halasima got the full 80, so he's an interesting player here for next week at 410. If things continue this way, which it may do. It's good to see him get through the full game after giving him 39 minutes last week, got 69 I think the week before, so for him to get through 80, not have any attacking stats, a couple of negatives there, and still get 45, it's really, really good news, and I think he's a target if you do need an edge over the next few weeks for sure. Robson, 41, Egan, 39. Did get 8 minutes rest in the end, 5 missed tackles, so back to some of the scoring that we have seen from him in the past, so do be a little bit concerned, but hopefully it's just a blip in the radar for Egan. Cotter, 36, Malmarga, 38 and 32, it's impressive. Rob Darby did get the try off the kick. Purdue, just the one try as well, off the breakaway. 27 for him, so not his best games. Base stats, 9 tackles, 100 metres run, so weren't going left as much or to him, and when he did get the ball, defensively they were pretty good, so I think he's a clear hold. I think he'll come back to some good scores, but he could also be in a similar situation to Stafford Toa, apart from not having around 15 by. He just misses 12. He's at a price where you could go to a gun, like Lucas or something like that, so that's that one. The final game, I think we've done pretty well here. How good are some of these guys, eh? There's some big scores in this game as well. Seems like Magic Round's the week for 50 plus scores, and Egan led that with 79 in 73 minutes, so he's clearly back. And even that runaway try from Buller, he was chasing, so he's just got so much chops, and lovely line ball run of King Tagia in that first try as well. So it's tough having him sit on the bench, but he's also now going to push towards 700k very quickly, and is an easy play week to week again after having the tough one last week with the 30 odd when we played him. So glad I still own. Shout out to Jakey Venn, who's absolutely flying in the private group. We had the meet up yesterday, which is awesome fun at 12 o'clock. A bunch of us went all the way through the night, end up at the same place, staying there because it just rained on and off. I was like, there's no point leaving. Jakey stuck with us all day, just like last year, and he's in the top 20, and he had a 50-50 call between spending up the extra money to get Lucas instead of Fermor, but that meant selling Egan, and we were going back and forth, and it was like, it just feels yuck selling Egan, and you end up going, yep, all right, cool, let's we'll roll with that, and then played Egan as well for the 79, so he was cheering. I was crying a bit in the corner that I didn't have him in the side. He's on the bench, but not scoring, so well done to Jakey, and shout out to anyone who did play him. Troll May got the 4-minute early mark at the end when they were winning, so good work to him. Little, 74 and 46, but Troll May, easy captain. If you did captain Haas, chance to beat it with a 90 or something like that. But Hamish Stewart, 66 for him in 48 minutes at 13, 41 tackles, and we knew he had this PPM in him, but got that easy try at the end, so he would have been about a PPM there. Val Holmes, 62. We had Couchman, 61 and 56, so he did a good job. A couple offloads, 1 negative in the error, so love that PPM. Back to some good scores, and he's a clear keeper. Just going to depend week to week on minutes played and whatever else. I think Gula probably AC joint injury or something like that. Point of the shoulder straight into the turf. So if he is out for a little bit, it does help guys like Hamish Stewart. Played really well. Helps Couchman as well to keep those good minutes. What about Seyfarth coming in clutch the last bunch of weeks? 55. He's getting up to that 45 average now after we said he was a 49 guy. Of course, after we sell him, he's up some cash, and he'll be up near 100k for the year now after this, but a little bit late, my boy. Some people still own him though. Shout out to you guys. Charlie Staines double, Twali, King Tagia. He's going to be a fun cash down next week. I think he played really well. I think he looked great. Ran the footy well. Good passer of the footy. Did kick a little bit as well. So there you go. Happy with that for King Tagia. Lycan. And I think he'll be the downgrade option for myself next week, so I can get up to Lucas. That'll be pretty fun. And that's it on all those guys in that range. You got Cook there at 34. Coruscant, Luai in the low 30s. DeBellin, 32 minutes. So he, out of that 13 role with Stewart, and they actually split the role basically. 40, high 40s into 38 there. Gutho, 29. He's getting sold next week. Ugh. My Supercoach team's in the pits. Thank goodness for Ponga. We're all in on fantasy now, aren't we? Oh, and Dream Team. I'm coming 30th in Dream Team, so we're good. We're good. But yeah, Gula 31 minutes, so may have helped a few of the guys. Naden 3 and 48 if you did buy this week. That was the cheapie that some people are having a look at. And yeah, poor fella got injured, so no good there. Clemmer, Sloan, Hunt. Yeah, that's it. Leave it there, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in for this one. Excuse the voice, and hopefully over the next week, whatever's going on with his throat gets a lot better. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed the last game. 3 games today. They're going to be super fun. 3 of the best games of the week. And I imagine a lot of people will be cheering on Karaz. I was going to trade Toa to Karaz and went, no, let's wait. Get Lucas next week and go from there. Thanks so much, legends. Catch you in the next one.